So I bought one of my favourite movies the other day on VHS, and unfortunately it's knackered. So in this video I'm going to try and fix it. Right, so the movie in question is this, The Nightmare Before Christmas by Tim Burton, an absolutely fantastic stop motion film. So yeah, that was going to form part of my VHS collection, and I put it in the VCR player, and unfortunately that happened. So I don't know if it's the tape or it was the player. So in today's video we are gonna just open this up and see if we can perform some sort of repair. I have never done this before, so anyway, let's see where this goes. So just before we perform this repair, today's tools are going to be some sellotape or some sticky tape, a pair of scissors and a Phillips screwdriver. Right, so first things first, let's get this open. Right, so it was just a case of 4 little Phillips head screws. And now, is this going to be easy? We've got a sticker, so we've got a security label here, which we just need to prise off. Right, so a case of the Al razor blade on there. Just cut it because we're not going to be really using the security seal again. And I think there is some resistance somewhere. Do we need to take another screw out maybe? Have I missed a screw? I don't think so. Or is it this? There's something here which pushes in. Is it there? I don't know. There is some resistance. Right, okay, let's go back to the drawing board on that one. Right, so I was scratching my head there trying to think, like, why wouldn't it open? And there was that in the middle, which I think could possibly be some sort of maybe security screw. It wasn't a Phillips, it wasn't flathead, it was just a weird, well, that's what's left of it, so that will not be going back in. So that is a toast for now. So anyway, let's turn this over and carefully lift off the top. Again, I am met with some, oh yeah, no, we're good. We're all good. Yeah, just pull it off. There we go. Right. So that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Right, so I'm going to try and do this, possibly without taking the spools off. But as you can see there, one of them looks like it's twisted. So I might have to take this out, and I think it's just a simple case of just pulling this tab back and then maybe lifting that out like that. As you can see, it's a bit twisted, so I think that could possibly be one of the reasons why it's snapped. It just got snagged. Let's prise it out. Right, there we go. And then that just basically connects up to that one. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll leave it out and we will basically just join up these 2 spools. Can we pull that? Is it locked? Well, that is locked, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to get this one free, I think. Where does that go there? Through there like that. Take a bit of that off. There we go. Push that in. Right, now the task is to connect these 2 pieces together. So I'm not wearing gloves and there will probably be fingerprints on this tape, but I can clean it up later on. So now comes the task of carefully trying to get these 2 together. Now, no matter what you use for this sellotape, I've seen white labels getting used in the past, and you're never ever going to get that tape perfect. There's always going to be that little glitchy bit where the head runs over that part. It's never ever going to be as perfect as it was. So just going to have a little mess around with this now, just check everything's all free and that like, and hopefully get these 2 pieces connected back together. Right, so I was trying to cut it as perfect as I could, but I couldn't really get it, so what I've done is I've just put a big massive piece of sticky tape on there, as you can see, and I'm literally just going to join it freehand like so. Oops, that's not good. I mean, if you do mess this up, you can cut a little bit away, should we say. You don't have to have it like perfect, because it is old media and it does. Right, so we'll do that again. Tell you what, put it that way, much better. Get a bit of slack. What you've also got to watch for is static as well. So let's get this down there. That. Now I'm going to cut a bit away here because I have messed it up a little bit, but it's no big deal. No big deal. There we go. A little bit of slack. Try and line it up as best as I can. Right, so I've got them both joined together, and I'll put an extra bit of sellotape on the top. Just get that up there like that. So these two pieces now are perfectly lined up. Let's get that excess out of the way. You can see. So that was where the break was. I don't know whether you can see that on camera. Let me just get this up without ripping it. So that was where the break was. And as you can see, just there is where the break was. So now is going to be the task of just basically cutting it straight. And when we come back, hopefully we will have some sort of perfect line and then whack it back together and hope it plays. Right, so I think I've done it. I seem to have got two pieces together, and I'm just spooling it back up now. Take any slack off. Say it's not perfect, and I think in all honesty doing a repair like this is not going to be perfect, but that is what I've done so far. I'm quite happy with that because, you know, it was in a bit of a state, and as mentioned before, you are not going to get anything like this perfect. So you can use other methods, I assume, you know, white sticky labels or sellotape. So yeah, it was chewed there anyway, so unfortunately that part of the movie is going to be a little bit scatty, and the auto tracking is going to go off its head. So I'm just going to clean it up a little bit because it's got a couple of finger marks there and a couple of bits of sellotape glue, and then when we come back, hopefully I'll have this baby back together and I can finally watch Nightmare Before Christmas on VHS. Right, so a good way on cleaning these up when you finish repairing them is just basically a glasses wipe. Simple as, just give it a light dusting across and it takes off most of the crap. So anyway, we're going to get this back together now and we're going to see how it plays. Right, so we are all back together. Just to show you there, I know it looks a mess, but you know what? When you're messing around with media like this, you cannot get it perfect. Well, you probably can, and there's probably some professionals out there now thinking, what the hell have you done to this cassette? But you know what? It's done now. I've had to sacrifice a tiny piece of tape. It was just too curled, and you know what I did think? About getting the iron out, but there's no way you're going to iron that. So anyway, I've cleaned it up. I've given it a good old rub with the glasses wipe. Now is the task of setting up the VHS player or VCR player and seeing how this performs. Right, so frame rate has been lowered just to reduce any flicker. Now the picture, it's not perfect, it's a bit staticky, and there's good reason for that. So I'm using the last VCR which I restored, and in that video I did say that there may be a dry solder joint on the SCART lead at the back, and I've just had a wiggle and the picture does go nice and crisp. So that will possibly be for, you know, if not a future video, but I'll have to sort that out at some point as well because it is a little bit jumpy, as you can see. But if I mess around with the SCART lead at the back, You can't really see it well on camera, but it does go quite clear. And also one thing I've noticed is when you're repairing these tapes, don't use a load of tape, which I did, sellotape or sticky tape. The heads and the rollers just can't really roll it round. So on the last scene there, after that, I had to redo the tape. So I put as minimal tape as possible, top and bottom, and it is perfect now. I've lost around about 5 seconds maybe, but anyway, so that's what I set out to do today, and that is what I have achieved. This is going in my collection, like I said. I'm going to set up some point, you know, a VHS wall, just a smaller VHS wall, but that's quite nice. That's watchable. It doesn't quite show as well on camera because there is still a little bit of flicker. So, and I'm trying to talk as much as I can because Danny Elfman, the soundtrack to this, you will get copyrighted. So yeah, but anyway, that is a fully restored VHS tape. That was my little repair of Nightmare Before Christmas VHS cassette. And as mentioned, you are not going to get these perfect. Once they snap and you put it back together, you're going to lose something, unfortunately. And I've lost, as I say, around about 5 seconds. But you know, it doesn't really matter. It's going into the collection, and I've got it on Blu-ray and DVD as well. But it's just nice just to have that now sitting on the shelf. When I eventually make my VHS wall, I'm in the process of trying to find some shelves to make a small VHS wall with my collection anyway. So yeah, but it's nice to have that like complete now, if that makes sense, and not snapped. So yeah, well happy with that. And as I said, do not use loads of sticky tape. I used them up that much, and the spools and that just couldn't take it. So it's a lot harder than the actual media on the cassette. So I had to chop it, unfortunately, and start again, and I used the tiniest amount possible, so it runs all through the runners and all the spools now. So yeah, as I say, the VHS, I was playing it on the VCR player. It needs a little bit of looking at, so it's not going to be for a video, it's just going to be done, you know, off camera. So yeah, well into my VHSs. I am absolutely loving watching these kind of films now back on VHS. And on that note, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Chewy.